Welcome back to my channel. This is Off Brand, the channel dedicated to sharing fashion opinion, emphasis on opinion. Welcome back guys to this Black Friday series, this Black American History Month, and today we're going to be talking about Andre Leon Talley. But before we get started, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you have those notifications on so you don't miss any of this great fashion content. Andre Leon Talley was born on the 16th of October 1948 in Washington, D.C. However, he was raised by his maternal grandmother in North Carolina during the Jim Crow era. He credited his grandmother to having helped his interest in fashion, having given him an understanding of luxury. However, he also said his interest was majorly sparked by viewing a Vogue magazine in the library when he was 9 years old. In 1974, he managed to get an unpaid internship with the iconic Diana Vreeland, whom he was a major fan of, having quoted to have had his room wallpapered with her pictures, unlike his peers. He was later introduced to Andy Warhol and became his secretary at Interview magazine before working at the New York Times, Women's Wear Daily, and Ebony. He later went on to fill his role of fashion news editor at Vogue from 1983 to 87 and his iconic role of creative director from 1988 to 1995, making him the first ever African-American and Black American person in history to have that role at Vogue. He also went on to work at W magazine, but later returned to Vogue to work as editor-at-large until 2013. Now, having grown up in the Deep South during the Jim Crow era, it was really important to Andre to champion and push for diversity, as well as equity for POCs and particularly Black people within the fashion industry. During his career, not only was he iconic for his fashion eye, but also for his ability to push the careers of those around him. Particularly having been credited in 1994 as the major salvation for John Galliano's career, having found him a new backer for his 1994 collection. Alongside Galliano, he has also helped the likes of Jason Wu, Laquan Smith, Issey Miyake, Comme des Garçons, Rick Owens, and having inspired designers like Zac Posen and pushing designers like Marc Jacobs. Talley's presence also inspired the likes of Edwin Enninful, who is currently the editor-in-chief of British Vogue. He also mentored the one and only Naomi Campbell, pushing her throughout her career, helping her to land roles such as the first Black woman on the cover of Vogue and the Scarlet in the Hood spread, to which he was the creative director for, inspired by Gone with the Wind. Let's just say Andre has done a lot. Outside of just contributing to the fashion space, he also critiqued it, often calling out Anna Wintour for using her white privilege within her role. Most famously in 2018, when Vogue hired their first ever Black photographer, Tyler Mitchell, to shoot Beyoncé's cover. This was the first Black photographer hired by Vogue in 126 years. Andre also inspired with his personal fashion and grand personality, often seen in caftans and capes, custom made by his favorite designers such as Gucci and Louis Vuitton. He also contributed to the pop cultural space with his presence on America's Next Top Model for 3 seasons, introducing terms like drakitude into the vocabulary of the masses. It's very clear that Andre was not only a fashion icon, legend, and pioneer, but he was also a pop cultural giant, and he will be truly missed. Opinion.